Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. I've got something very exciting for you today. It's going to be San9 playing in his AMX 3090. And this replay had me on the edge of my seat at the end of the game. So San9, thank you so much for sending me this one. And hopefully I can do it some justice with the commentary and sharing it with the awesome YouTube community. So, the AMX 3090 is a very topical vehicle at the moment. Lots of people are getting back in it. Now, you don't really need a reason to want to play this AMX 3090 outside of the fact that it is a fantastic tank with a very impressive autoloader, as the name would suggest, a 90mm. But there is an overwhelming reason why a lot of people, and maybe San9 playing his AMX 3090 is getting back in this tank. And that's because it's the only way to get to the brand new AMX 30 prototype, the Tier 9 French medium tank that'll be coming in patch 9.7. San9 puts in one shot into the Bulldog, two, catches him unaware. This is the beautiful thing about autoloaders on your light tanks. You do catch your opponents unaware, then they pretty much have no opportunity to do anything about it. Wow, he managed to absorb a shot there from an enemy 1390. Where did that one hit? Did it hit his gun? Looks like yes. The enemy 1390 shot right into his gun, so that was an absorb. Now the clip potential of this tank is simply incredible. It's 1,440 damage. And because it's got the 90mm, its alpha damage is 240 per shot, which means that you have to penetrate less shots than other autoloaders, for example these T71s, or, as we just saw, the M41 Walker Bulldog. Now these T71s at the top of the hill are two scary guys working in a platoon together, statistically very strong players. How is San9 going to deal with these two American autoloader light tanks, albeit that they're one tier lower than him? The T71 on the right-hand side seems to be caught out. San tracks him up. He repairs his tracks, but San tracks him again. He takes one, he takes two, he takes three, but finishes him off. He bounces a shot from the guy on the left, takes a fourth one, but manages to absolutely cripple the enemy's stranglehold on the hill. Great stuff there. What work! He penetrated each of the shots he fired, even aiming them with precision enough to force the enemies to use their repair kit, and probably taking down the first T71 unaware and flustered. So great result there. And this is what the AMX 1390 can do. It takes, I believe, 2.73 seconds between each shell, which means that it's going to unload in roughly about, I'll have to think it through in a second, as he unloads on this STA2. Oh no, he missed one shot there. He thinks he's going to be spotted, and so he hides from the STA2. Wedges his tank up, and he is spotted by the STA2. Now he's going after the 1390. One into his back. Takes a look out to see if he's being flanked by the Leopard prototype, but the enemy 1390 falls. And San is in a very important location here. He's stopping that STA2 from flanking round, providing view range there. And there he goes, he spots the STA2 yet again. The reload on this tank is quite long. It has to be. This thing does 1,440 damage every clip. If it was to reload as fast as a T71 as an example, it would be completely unbalanced. And so the 1390 has to work in bursts. A bit like a bat chat, really. It has awesome clip potential for its tier. Higher than, for example, the T69. 2 extra shots, 50% higher than the T69. San is not spotted. Now he begins to engage the STA2. It looks like San does not have sixth sense in this tank either. Either that or he was spotted the whole time. We'll try and clarify that later in the replay. So let's talk about how fast the AMX 1390 unloads. Oh my word, San's hunting down this T71 with the last two shots in his tank. That's awesome awareness. Forward thinking and planning with his shots. I personally would have probably reloaded there. Sansan knew he had 2 left. Had great confidence in himself to penetrate those last 2 shots. If he'd missed one or bounced one, the enemy T-71 would have been able to hound him down and take him out. And there goes both of the American light tanks on the hill. Great stuff, Sansan. So, the AMX 1390 takes 2.73 seconds to unload each shell. And from the first shot, that's going to be 5 times that added on. So, it's about 13 seconds, I guess, roughly, maybe slightly higher, to unload the tank fully. And that's not a short time. 13 seconds when you're in a very lightly armoured French tank is a significant period to unload. Much longer than, for example, some of the American autoloaders, which do have 2-second delay between their shots. Also, as we can see here, the AMX 1390's aim time is very long indeed. But when you've got the time to be able to aim the shot in, secure the kill on that very important Tier 9 American tank destroyer on the enemy team, it's totally worth it. Sansan reloads again. So this shows you that sometimes you'll save those last 2 shots, and sometimes you only need one of them and get to effectively fire 1 shot every 30 seconds. Such is the way of the autoloader. It's a mixed blessing, but I'd say on the whole it's definitely a blessing rather than a negative to have an autoloader, as long as you can control the engagement. So Sansan spots the prototype below him, goes in, secures the kill on the back of that tank, and then spots a 112 that's going after his T-54 very aggressively. Sansan bounces the first shot. Aims well, and again sets the 112 on fire, which causes a panic in the crew, rendering the 112 incapable of fighting back effectively, securing the 4th shot into him, doing 842 damage with those 4 shots, including the fire. Sansan really is king of the hill here, but it's not over. Sansan goes around the corner and spots the 2 Tier 8 tank destroyers on the enemy team with 5 kills between them are still on full health. The E-50 puts in a good shot into the ISU-152 with his 105mm gun. Sansan waits, puts his first shot in, puts his second in. He's undoubtedly spotted, which means that he doesn't have 6th sense. Misses the second, but manages to evade the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger's fire. Puts 1 in, puts 2 in, and gosh, he might actually not be spotted for the 2nd time there. We saw that the Borsig blind fired the bush, but it was too late for him. 5 shots, 1,100 damage. He took out the entirety of that Tier 8 tank destroyer, not even needing all of the shots in his tank. But now Sansan is in the awkward situation of having 5 shots only to load in the gun. He has 1 APCR round left and 5 regular shots and a full health ISU-152. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. The ISU-152 is not on full health because the E-50 was able to put 1 into him. Now, where is that ISU-152 going? Sansan must be thinking to himself, well, the direction that he was choosing suggests that he would probably be going around the east of this very steep hill, which he's incapable of climbing up. So Sansan feels fairly comfortable here. He has to just make sure that the ISU-152 doesn't get the jump on him. Now, he's talking with his artillery right now, and he instructs the artillery to go cap. And I think that's a really good play. I think if the artillery was to go this way, and go towards the cap circle, game would more or less be won. But the artillery on Sansan's team decides to be brave and goes straight up. The ISU-152 managed to sneak into a position. The only way that I think that he could have got there... Sansan misses his first shot. You can't afford to miss many more, Sansan. Oh no! You've only got 4 shots left, but thankfully the ISU manages it. He puts in one blind. Does that damage him? We do not know. Sansan's got 2 shots and 1 APCR round left. As he spots the ISU, and he did not penetrate the blind shot. So the ISU 152 is still on 554 hit points. Is Sansan going to risk it? He can't. He can't. He needs to penetrate every single shot to be able to win this game. So it looks like the enemy ISU 152 didn't continue to go round, doubled back, snuck in here, got into this position to be able to counter the artillery. I really like that play by the ISU 152. Good stuff by Dajo Jana there. Evening up this game and turning it into a one-on-one at the end. Sansan's going to try and spot the ISU 152. In these kind of situations, you have to get intel on your opponents. It's fairly obvious roughly where he is, because he's capping. He's in the cap circle. But we don't know exactly where, and on this map, it kind of matters, because there are rocks that he can hide behind. He can get behind this ridge, and he can get behind the rocks over there to be able to evade fire from Sansan. Sansan is still trying his luck, however. That is some excellent camouflage rating on the ISU 152. And I have no idea if Sansan is using coated optics on this tank. He most likely is. His view range, when we look at it, is not capped out, but that modification sometimes doesn't work on the replays. Either way, the result is the same. He's got 30 seconds left. He has to be able to find this ISU 152 and take him out. He has 2 shots left. And then after that, he's going to have 1 APCR round. He's going to have to fully reload. 12 seconds. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, he fires on the move. That's so lucky that that went in. And the second one on the move. I kind of don't think that that was, well, maybe Sansan felt like he needed to track him there. But if he hadn't damaged the ISU 152 with both of those shots, then he would have been in, well, he wouldn't have been able to win the game without ramming the ISU 152 to death, which, considering it's a very heavy tank, is not possible. So the sheer audacity on Sansan here. He's reloading his tank. He is spending 30 seconds to reload an entire clip while holding the ISU 152 in place. So what a fantastic end to the game here for Sansan. He undoubtedly carried his team ridiculously hard, getting nearly 2/3 of the kills and doing a tremendous amount of damage that we're going to see in more detail in a second in the post-game stats. Sansan took the pivotal location on this map for a light tank. From here, he basically could keep watch over a huge portion of the map. Basically this whole upper plateau with probably a bit of a shadow around here. And showed that the AMX 1390 is not just a scout, it can also bite ridiculously hard. The end of the game was very exciting, and I don't think the ISU 152 probably comprehended that Sansan would only go in with 2 shots in his autoloader. I think if he had figured this out more quickly, he could have very easily just gone to the side of the map where Sansan couldn't have stayed behind him, turned his gun round, and killed Sansan. And that's something that you should always do in your non-turreted, and sometimes even your turreted tank destroyers. Get your back to the wall as quickly as you can when you're outmaneuvered by tanks which are very much more mobile than you. Other options for Sansan at the end of the game were probably to make use of these bushes up here, to be able to spot the ISU 152 to not go for a hero charge at him. And considering that even after reloading, he had 2 minutes left on the game, he could have probably made a safer play from here. Nevertheless, Sansan was probably just showing off for the spectators. I'm very glad he did so, because it made it thoroughly entertaining for me. Sansan, thank you so much for sending me this replay. I really appreciated it. Let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats. So Sansan got 2,953 experience this game. That's 1,969 base in a tier 8 light tank. That's a huge round. Getting the Defender medal, a high caliber a Radley Walters medal for destroying 8 or 9 enemy tanks, and the always entertaining Faden's medal for destroying the last enemy vehicle with the last remaining round in yours. Sansan has only played 7 games in his AMX 1390, making this result even more impressive. And if you keep playing like this, you're going to get towards that new AMX 30 prototype in no time at all. So over 6,000 damage. The AMX 1390 really isn't intended to do that much in a game. It only has 36 rounds of ammunition, of which he hit 32 and 30 of those penetrated. Interestingly, with all the spotting Sansan did, he only managed to do 810 detecting damage, and only got the initial spot on 3 of the enemy team. I really expected a lot more than that, considering this was such a high experience result. Sansan, thank you so much for sending me this excellent replay. It was a pleasure to watch, and I'll be giving it a firm thumbs up here. And if you, like me, are aiming to preload as much experience as I can in the AMX 1390 before the release of the AMX 30 prototype in patch 9.7, then I'm sure we all hope that we could play even half as good as Sansan did here. And then that grind should be quite painless. Anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please consider giving the video a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see the tank that everyone is out grinding these AMX 1390s to get, then simply click up here and you can go through to a full preview of the AMX 30 prototype. And let me know what you think of the AMX 1390 in the comments down below. Do you think it is the best of the Tier 8 light tanks? Or do you think the recent competition from the RU-251 Speerpanzer, from the T-54 lightweight, and also the T-49 have knocked it off the pole position? Well, if the esports game mode is anything to go by, I don't think anything is going to be taking the crown off the AMX 1390 anytime soon. But anyway guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.